Lay me low so love can find me. Lay me low so love can hold me. Lay me low so love can bless me. Lay me low, lay me low. Lay me low so love can find me. Lay me low so love can find me. Lay me low so love can bless me. Lay me low, oh lay me low. Lay me low so love can find me. Lay me low so love can hold me. Lay me low so love can bless me. Lay me low, oh lay me low. Lay me low so love can find me. Lay me low so love can hold me. Lay me low so love can bless me. Lay me low, oh lay me low. Lay me low so love can find me. Lay me low so love can hold me. Lay me low so love can bless me. Lay me low, oh lay me low. Our invocation this morning comes to us from Reverend Joan Javier Duval. Here is where you can lay it down. Lay down all that you have carried, the weight of the world that has rounded your back, leaving you aching or exhausted. Here is where healing begins, where burdens are set down, and alongside one another's, their magnitude doesn't seem so great. Here is where the door is thrown open, and the light can lift away the shadows, and what was hidden can finally now be seen. Here is where you can rest, where nothing is expected, but that you bring all of who you are into the presence of the holy and of this loving community. I invite you to repeat each line of the song after me, and there's a little bit of an overlap in our parts, so gather your courage. It goes like this. Lay me low, lay me, so love can find me. Lay me low, so love can hold me. Lay me low, lay me, so love can bless me. Lay me low. Oh, lay me low, lay me low. I invite you to take a deep breath, to be present here in this place, where for now at least there's nowhere else you need to be. Be present in this moment where for now at least there's nothing else that needs to be done. And I invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer. Love, we know you are always with us. Always within and around us, always in search of us. But we get distracted by things that don't begin with love. We forget our purpose, we forget our gratitude, we forget our connection. We give ourselves instead to small worries and anxieties, to old stories that are out of date, that no longer serve us. Love, here is where the door is thrown open. Here is where we can lay it down. Here is where we can rest for a moment. Here is where the healing begins. Lay me low, lay me, so love can find. Lay me low, lay me, so love can hold me. Lay me low, lay me, so love can bless. Lay me low, lay me, oh, lay me low, lay me low. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we are descended on our Unitarian side from the Puritans. And once upon a time in our congregations, there was a great controversy of music, the controversy of whether we should allow hymns in church. Before someone introduced this radical heresy to our congregations, we sang only the Psalms because David had given us all the lyrics we ever needed. And we sang only in call and response. And so I invite you into that little piece of the Puritan spirit this morning, although we're going to add some theology and definitely some rhythm that would have them rolling over in their graves. Here we go. Sing out like you mean it. Lay me low, lay me, so love can find. Lay me low, so love can hold. Lay me low, so love can bless. Lay me low, lay me, oh, lay me. Sounds good. Can we try it in like 7-part harmony? Here we go. Lay me low, lay me, so love can find me. Lay me low, so love can hold. Lay me low, so love can bless. Lay me low, 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 so love can find. Lay me low, lay me low, so love can hold, so love can hold me, lay me low. Lay me low, so love can bless, so love can bless. Lay me low, oh, lay me low. Let's take a deep breath. You may be seated as you set the song down gently.
Good morning. Welcome to First Parish in Milton. My name is Steve Yakutis, and I'm a member of our worship committee. I'm so happy to welcome you back, guest minister Matt Meyer. Will be leading the service today. In fact, it was a year ago this week that you were here and I was here. And you may notice there are no hymn numbers up there because Matt's going to be leading us in all of the music today. Matt Meyer is a lifelong Unitarian Universalist with a long background as a musician and worship leader for UU congregations. He lives in Boston and travels as an itinerant minister, itinerant worship leader, bringing the good news of Unitarian Universalism to hundreds of congregations across the country. Matt is a published children's book author, and his story, Desmond Gets Free, won a Nautilus Award for social justice in children's fiction. Matt will also be sharing a ritual in today's service from a new book of rituals called Blessing It All, published by the Unitarian Universalist Association. He'll have both books for sale at his table after the service, but they were also out in the narthex as you walked in. If you're having trouble hearing us in the meeting house, please raise your hand. Okay, we can raise it up a little bit. Yep, great. On Zoom, please chat. Send us a message in the chat and we'll adjust the sound. That better? Great. We're so glad that you have chosen to be with us here this morning or to join us virtually. However your journey, whatever your heritage, and whomever you love, you are welcome here. Your presence here on Sunday morning enriches worship for everyone. This sanctuary is made holy by your presence. If you're joining us for the first time, a special welcome. You'll find information about First Parish in your pew. One of the greeters, or I, will be happy to answer any questions you might have, and any of us would welcome the opportunity to walk with you to social hour after the service. The work of living our faith is done both in and out of worship, so I call your attention to the printed announcements that came with your order of worship or found in your emailed link. First, May 3rd is the date of the first ever First Parish Art Festival fundraiser. Mark your calendars, invite your friends, you won't want to miss it. This event will bring together art and high-end crafts in a vibrant and social setting, featuring contributions from professional and local artists, including many of our own First Parish artists and craftspeople. There will be floral interpretations of key artworks. The event aims to create an immersive art experience. Guests can enjoy music and a wine and cheese reception while bidding in both live and silent auctions. There will also be raffle prizes. And here's the important part. Today is the final day to submit an entry in our Name That Event contest. We need a clear, exciting, and memorable name for the evening that will encourage people from all over Milton and the surrounding communities to join for a wonderful evening. And we're looking for suggestions. There'll be a flip chart with markers in the parish hall during social hour, and if you're on Zoom, please add your ideas in the chat window, put your creativity cap on, and please share your ideas. A couple of other important announcements. Climate action at home. Cut your carbon footprint. Does climate despair get you down? The best antidote is to take action, but what to do first? I would start by talking to Tony Dutzik at Social Hour. There he is in the back. He'll be at a table, and there will be workshops in March and April, Zoom workshops, to discuss all of the many options that you can do to make your own home more climate friendly. Also, I want to remind you that our annual budget drive has begun. The Stewardship Committee announces that this year's annual budget drive begins as of Sunday, January 26th, and it will conclude on Commitment Sunday, March 16th. So please look for that email link and be as generous as you can for the upcoming year. Now, let's take a few minutes to greet one another and extend a warm welcome to old friends and new. For those on Zoom, please turn on your video and go to gallery view so that you can say hello while zooming in.
Hello, BB.
Hi, Richard. How are you?
I'm good.
Hi,
Good.
BB.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah. Ah,
Happy Sunday. At least it's sunny.
and it's a little warmer than it's been, so maybe the
Huh.
ice will melt a bit, we hope.
Well, the weather forecast shows we're going to have a thaw this
Oh,
week.
yay. I'm
Yep.
so glad to hear that. I'm just looking forward to the fact that we're only 30 days away from spring at this point.
Yeah.
Indeed. No. Hi, Peggy. Peggy, you're on mute. Hi, Peggy.
Good morning, everybody.
Nice to
Good
meet you,
morning.
Peggy.
Good morning.
Okay, so go pee, babe. Sorry.
Who are you talking to?
My granddaughter, my grandkids now live with me. I'm looking forward to bringing them there at some point.
Wonderful. How old are they?
3 and 4.
Oh, my goodness. Great. Oh, it's nice to see so many people at church. I just couldn't make it. So, yeah. Look,
I guess I just like the option of just not having to leave the house,
I know.
especially since I live in Quincy and it's only a half an hour drive for me to get to the church, but still, I mean, there's really no difference. I'm getting just as much out of it being in the warmth and comfort of my own home and not wasting gas.
This is a
Yes.
nice
Understood.
alternative.
It really is. I
going.
really appreciate it.
See you guys later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good day.
Wow, you beat me back to your seats. As we enter into worship, please take a moment to make sure your cell phones are silenced. Now is the moment when we can focus on being here, when we can choose to connect with ourselves and the divine, when we can choose to just be present. And I invite Matt to light the chalice. Flame of our faith, call us into the community of love and justice this morning and every morning. And we're going to move the reading to before the call to worship. A True Story by Lee Kinvey. This chalice is for the living, the changing, the becoming. This chalice is for losing the script of your life, the chapters about who you are in other people's stories. This chalice is for the lost GPS that was supposed to show you how to get where you expected to go. This chalice is for skipping the directions, coloring outside the lines, painting not by number, but by silence, by wild abandon. With a brush you made yourself from light deep inside. Startling, vivid, a new voice that already knows you. Finally, a true story. Please join me in saying the call to worship, number 1 on your laminated card. Come, let us gather. We gather to celebrate the sacred within and among us. We come to seek spiritual growth and understanding. We strive to practice acceptance, forgiveness, and love. Together, we work to build a world with justice and compassion. Come, let us gather together. They can. They don't need to, okay. And we're having a slight change in the time for all ages. The children will be remaining with us in service today, and Matt has a story for them.
Service is about new stories, about finding ourselves in times that feel very different than the past, and what we want to let go of and what we want to bring forward into the future. How we are open to new situations, new contexts, how we ask ourselves different questions. And so I think this story is perhaps fitting, and it's been a few years at least since I shared it. A story about a mouse named Desmond. Desmond lived in the most beautiful meadow in all of the land. Every morning, Desmond would wake with the sunrise and spend the whole day playing in that meadow. And every night, Desmond would go to sleep right in the middle of that meadow under the beautiful starry sky above. One night, though, Desmond woke to find that it was still dark out. So he tried to roll over, get more comfortable, go back to sleep, but something wasn't right. He could hardly move, and his tail was throbbing with pain. Reaching behind him, he felt that there was some sort of, it felt like some sort of huge boulder had fallen just on his tail in the middle of the meadow. He tried pushing on this boulder with all of his little mouse strength, but it didn't budge. And when that didn't work, he tried tugging on his tail, tugging to get loose with all of his might, but it didn't work. He tried pushing and tugging and tugging and pushing and pushing and tugging and tugging and pushing over and over again, till finally he was out of breath and he was exhausted and he had just about given up when he saw another animal passing by through the meadow. It was a tall giraffe. And so he called out, "Oh, giraffe, it seems that some sort of boulder has fallen just on my tail in the middle of the meadow. If you could use your powerful legs to nudge it, well, even just a few inches in the other direction, I could get free." Well, the giraffe laughed at Desmond the way giraffes do. "You silly mouse," he said. "That's no boulder that's fallen on your tail in the middle of the meadow. That is an elephant that's fallen asleep on your tail in the middle of the meadow." Well, maybe that's a good thing, thought Desmond. In that case, if you could just gently wake the elephant and ask him to roll over even just a few inches in the other direction, I could go free. "I don't know about that," said the giraffe. "I mean, surely you must know what they say about letting sleeping elephants lie. I find it's best not to get involved in other animals' business. I find it's best to stay neutral in times such as these." Well, Desmond said, "I do not appreciate your neutrality." The giraffe wandered off, and so Desmond tried shouting to wake the giant elephant. But his little mouse voice, it was just too far from those giant elephant ears at the way other end of that giant elephant body. When shouting didn't work, he tried pushing again, and then he tried tugging again, and he tried shouting and pushing and tugging and tugging and pushing and shouting over and over and over. So finally he was out of breath and exhausted and had just about given up when he saw another animal pass by through the meadow. This time it was a gazelle. And he called out, "Oh, gazelle, it seems that an elephant has fallen asleep just on my tail in the middle of the meadow. If you could just gently wake him up and ask him to roll over even just a few inches in the other direction, I could get free." "I don't know about that," said the gazelle. "I mean, surely you must know what they say about letting sleeping elephants lie. I find it's best not to get involved in other animals' business. I find it's best to remain neutral in times such as these." Well, the gazelle wandered off, and Desmond said almost to himself this time, "I do not appreciate your neutrality." One last time, Desmond tried shouting with all of his voice. He tried pushing with all of his strength and tugging his tail with all of his might, and he tried shouting and pushing and tugging and pushing and shouting over and over again. So finally he was out of breath and exhausted, and he had just given up for the last time when he saw another animal pass by through the grass. This time it was another mouse. And when he shouted out, that mouse ran right over and introduced himself. He said, "My name is Nelson. What seems to be the problem?" Well, no sooner had Desmond explained the situation than Nelson ran all the way to the other end of that giant elephant body, and he shouted up to those giant elephant ears at the way top of that giant elephant head, "Excuse me! It seems you've fallen asleep on my friend's tail in the middle of the meadow. If you could roll over just a few inches in the other direction, he could go free." Well, the elephant heard Nelson's little mouse voice way down on the ground, but he was just a bit too quiet, and he was just a bit too far away. And between you and me, I think that elephant was just a bit too comfortable, so he didn't budge. Nelson thought for a moment before he ran back to Desmond, and he said, "I think I might have an idea. Stay right here. Don't move." And he ran off into the grass, leaving a confused look on Desmond's face. And just when Desmond was starting to get worried again, he saw Nelson emerge back through the grass. But this time he wasn't alone. He had found 3 other mouse friends, and each of them, they had each done their job. They had each found another 3 friends as well. The whole group of them ran all the way to the other end of that giant elephant body, and one mouse, she climbed up on the shoulders of another, and another mouse climbed up on her shoulders, and one by one, they made a whole mouse ladder all the way up the back of that giant elephant head. And then Nelson, he climbed up the shoulders of his friends carefully, one by one, till he stood right at the opening of that giant elephant ear. And he shouted with all of his voice, "Excuse me! It seems you've fallen asleep on my friend's tail in the middle of the meadow. Roll over just a few inches so he can get free." Well, this time he was just too close, and he was just too loud to ignore. And so the elephant groaned, but then he rolled over just a few inches in the other direction. Nelson and his friends climbed back down, and they met up with Desmond, and the whole group of them spent the rest of that day playing together at the edge of the meadow. Archbishop Desmond Tutu said that if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you've already taken sides. You've taken sides with the powerful and with the oppressor. And he said, if an elephant is standing on the tail of a mouse, the mouse will never appreciate your neutrality. Archbishop Tutu believed in a God who took sides, a God who, he said, took sides with the orphan and the widow and the oppressed everywhere. And whether or not we share a belief in that same God, as Unitarian Universalists, we have covenanted to build a world of justice and equity and compassion. And we know that means imagining and working for a world very different than the one we see around us. And so it means that we gather in community to take sides for justice, to take sides for equity and compassion, and to take sides for love. May we together side with love, and may we make it so. Amen. Are we going to sing the children out? Great. No worries. Well, Steve mentioned that later in the service we'll be sharing in a ritual from this new book by the UU Association, a book of rituals. I should say I had no part in making this book, but I think it is such a gift to our denomination that I bought 40 or 50 copies to bring around with me. And I love that this book has rituals for the major transitions of life, for separation and marriage, for death and for birth, for name changes and pronoun changes, and so many beautiful things. And I also love that it has rituals for the very small moments in life. And so I will offer to you, for our time of silence, this ritual for entering and exiting silence. I invite you to take a deep breath, to be present here. We'll sing a song 3 times, loudly, and then quietly, and then we will hum it. And after the humming, I invite you into a place of shared silence to be present together, to find some stillness that may have eluded you all week long. To close our time of silence, we will hum the song and then sing it quietly and then sing it loudly. I'll sing it once through to teach you the song, which is all you should need. It says, "Love has made a place for you where everything is new." Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Can we try that loudly together? Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Quietly. Love has made a place for you where everything is new. And humming. Love has made a place for you where everything is new. And loudly, love has made a place for you where everything is new. I spent this past summer as an intern chaplain at Brigham Hospital downtown. So for 11 weeks, I spent my days knocking on hospital room doors, initiating conversations with patients and their families. Now, people have a lot of very different ideas about what it is exactly that a chaplain does. And in fact, I think nobody is particularly clear about it, given that the medical charts on the computers at the hospital list 51 different official interventions that we might do. I learned that the moment I stepped in the door, everyone had a story about me, and that story, at least early on, defined our interactions together. Some people were so grateful to see me. Some people were so disappointed to see me. Some people were so nervous or scared or glad. It varied so widely, and it was a vivid illustration to me that the way people interacted with me has nothing to do with me and everything to do with the story they have about me. I had wondered about this before I ever started this role. Before I started the internship, I knew that this might be the case, that people had a lot of different ideas. And while some novice chaplains are very reasonably nervous about what it might be like to do this work, what it will be like to sit with people on the worst days of their lives, or what it will be like to comfort people in the depths of their grief, my own anxiety took the form of obsessively worrying about fashion. I fussed and I fretted about it. I wondered and I worried about what to wear. I wondered, what could I possibly wear, as somebody unhelpfully pointed out to me? What could I wear that would work well if I suddenly found myself at something very much like a funeral? But that same outfit wouldn't feel like a funeral had arrived every time I entered the room. Us interns did receive an email beforehand with tips on what to wear. Thank goodness, I thought. I'll finally get the answer. But the different chaplains from different traditions in this email dressed incredibly differently. The only thing that they all seemed to have in common was that they all wore a fanny pack. I immediately bought 2 fanny packs. And then I continued to worry. At a conference later in the spring, I found myself talking with 2 longtime professional chaplains. This is it. I'll finally get my answer, I thought. They were sitting next to each other on a bench in front of me, and so I popped the question, what should I wear? The first one said, go with color. Be yourself. Be unique. Bring joy to people that need joy. The other said, no. Suit and tie. Blend in. Don't stand out. Black is a safe color, and you want to go with safe. Needless to say, this did not help my anxiety. I eventually had to resign myself to the idea that there was no magical outfit, even with a fanny pack, that would disarm everyone of all of their preconceived ideas about me. And it would be easy to say that the assumptions were all one-sided, but I was not immune to this as well. Before knocking on a patient's door, I could read their medical chart, but I learned that rarely told me what to really expect. I learned that there is more than one kind of Catholic, and different Catholics need different things. I learned that there's more than one kind of cancer, and the journey is unique for each person. I saw that there's more than one way to make meaning of suffering, and they are all heartbreaking and beautiful and complicated in very different ways. Over and over again, as I would begin to create a picture in my mind of what to expect, the patient or the family member on the other side of that door would remind me that my imagined stories meant nothing. Now, if there ever was a time to assume that a certain conversation might go a certain way, certainly that would be with someone that I had already met and already talked with, but even that was not necessarily the case. Toward the end of my time at the hospital, I had a visit with someone that was particularly difficult. This patient was in her last days, dying of cancer, and her spouse was there by her bedside. We'll call him Jim. And Jim, who I spoke with at length, had ideas about God that were not my own. This happened all the time, but in this case, I thought his understanding of God was really keeping him from being present with his spouse in these precious hours. The next morning, I was so frustrated about it that I knocked on my supervisor's door to talk with her. I shared my discomfort with her. I complained about all the things that Jim had done wrong in our conversation the day before. And I complained about all the things I wished I had done differently as well. She suggested that I go visit again, but she cautioned me. Don't try to redo yesterday's visit. Go back there today and do today's conversation. If his spouse's illness is continuing to progress, she said, she might be in a very different place, and he might be in a different place as well. So go back, she said, but go back with curiosity for today, not expectations from yesterday. Friends, if you have ever tried to repeat an old script, even when the situation was new, you know the wisdom and the challenge of this advice. But this next day, things were different. At first, Jim seemed to want to have the same exact conversation we'd had the day before. But I tried to stay curious, and after a while, things began to shift a bit. We spoke about how he wanted to be present with his partner in these last days. He held her hand and played music for her, and he shared tender goodbyes. And things between him and I felt different as well. The day was new, and so were we. Showing up with curiosity, leaving your stories about someone at the door, is an idea that some chaplains call the intimate stranger. It means that the less you assume about a person, the more you can be present with who they really are in front of you. And so, dear ones, I invite you into this practice of holy curiosity for the stranger. This practice that allows us to meet the real person where they are really at. Now, it might be the case that some of you did not spend your summers walking up to complete strangers and asking them about their deepest fears and hopes, in which case, maybe this all feels like advice for an irrelevant few. But being an intimate stranger is easiest when it's with an actual stranger. In my experience, the more you think you know a person, the harder this gets. This became so clear to me the week after my internship ended. I was spending some time on vacation with my family, finally getting to relax and get away from it all after a long and challenging summer working in the hospital. But at one point, I turned to my partner and I said, how is it that I spent all summer learning to be a non-anxious presence, learning to be grounded in difficult times, in the most difficult of situations? But as soon as I have one conversation with my mother about where to go out to dinner, I lose my GD mind. Honey, she said, it's because it's your mother. I've noticed that when I'm similarly frustrated with friends or housemates in my life, it's almost inevitably because I am using what we call absolutist language. I start having imaginary conversations in my head that begin with phrases like, you always, or why don't you ever? These words are the sound of unholy anti-curiosity. These aren't words that describe a person. They are words that describe a story I have about a person. And so I learned something about how to bring that holy curiosity to strangers in the hospital room. But believe me when I tell you I am still learning how to bring it to the people I am closest to. So my second invitation to you all this morning is to show up as the intimate stranger for the people you know well. Go back to your partner, your colleague, or your family, and instead of trying to redo yesterday's conversation or last year's conversation, do today's. Before you knock on the door or pick up the phone or join the meeting, invite your own holy curiosity. I wonder how this person is showing up today. I wonder what they need today. And my third invitation is that you do this for yourself. Perhaps the hardest of all. It's to bring that curiosity to the person I'm very closest to. The hardest of all is to bring that curiosity to the person that I am stuck with 24/7, God help me, the person who I have more stories about than anybody else. Just because I was focused all day yesterday and got a whole bunch of things done, that doesn't mean that that's the standard I need to hold myself to today. Or just because yesterday may have been a cluster intercourse of mistakes and miscommunications, that doesn't mean I can't be a new person today. When my chaplaincy cohort would gather for class this summer, we would begin with a check-in. And I appreciated that our advisor named a few different kinds of check-ins. Instead of saying what we had been up to lately, instead of saying even how we were feeling in general, we were asked to name what it was like to be in our bodies in that moment, to name the feelings that were coming up in that moment. And with some practice, she added, maybe even name where in your bodies those feelings are. So check-ins became a sort of mindfulness practice, a practice in noticing what was new in us each day, what I needed in a given moment, what was happening in my own nervous system and my own heart. I thought that this kind of self-awareness practice was maybe like extra credit for the work of chaplaincy. But the more time I spent with patients in difficult situations, the more I realized that it was the first and foremost work of presence. Noticing, holy curiosity to self is a skill, maybe even the skill on which presence to others is built. And you know what? I found that the more I was rooted in my own presence, the more I was curious about my own self, the less I was thrown by other people's stories and assumptions. Grounding in my own experience turned out to be a better tool than any outfit, although I will say that the fanny pack was invaluable. The metta meditation in the Buddhist tradition extends an offering of loving kindness first to oneself, and then to a loved one, and then to a stranger. And so today, dear ones, I offer these 3 invitations to you in reverse. Extend holy curiosity to the stranger, and then extend it to those you are closest to. And finally, if you can, extend it to yourself. Leave behind the stories from yesterday that no longer serve you. Leave yesterday's conversation in the past and show up for today's conversation. Allow yourself to be an intimate stranger to each new day. Don't redo yesterday, do today. And in the spirit of leaving those stories behind, I'd like to invite you into this ritual of letting go. So much of our life, so much of our goals and ambitions are about adding things, adding meetings to our calendar, adding items to our to-do list, adding even hopes for more time for rest or time with loved ones. Love is infinite, but time is not. And so I invite you now to think of something you would like to let go of. This could be a goal taking up space in your heart that no longer serves you. It could be a recurring meeting taking up space in your calendar. It could be an old grudge taking up space in your mind. If you're like me, you might have one of each. Whatever no longer serves you, we'll invite you to write it down now. So I'll ask our greeters to pass out some paper and markers. We've got special magic ritual paper this morning, so be sure only to use the designated paper. So it'll take just a couple of minutes for you to write down whatever you want to let go of, whatever you'd like to dissolve away that no longer serves you. Old stories, old goals, old commitments, to make some space for what is new, to allow some space for holy curiosity. Many cultures use water to carry away troubles. From the floating flowers placed at the shore for Santeria goddess Yemaya, to the Christian ritual of baptism that washes away sin, we know water is cleansing and releasing. So once you've written down what you'd like to let go of, we'll invite you to dissolve it away. You can come up to the front, and we have 2 vases of water here. You can drop the water. You can drop the paper into either water, and there's a little bamboo utensil, and you just give it a stir, and it will dissolve away. As you do so, we invite you to say, "I release my attachment to this." As you're ready, please come down in 2 lines. And if making the trip physically up front is tricky for you, feel free to just raise your hand, and one of our ushers will take your paper up to the front for you.
Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, and by the water I feel whole. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, and by the water I feel whole. The river is a healer, the river is a sage. The river knows no end, and the river feels no age. River is a leader every single day. It's living in the moment, and it always finds a way. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, and by the water I feel whole. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, and by the water I feel whole. The river calls me over, it's calling out my name. In the day and in the night, I hear that river all the same. It's calling me over, calling out my name. Oh, a river gathers tears just like a river gathers rain. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, and by the water I feel whole. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, by the water I feel whole. The river is a traveler, always on the go. A river never worries if it's fast or if it's slow. River, take me to where I need to go. I will just relax and let the river flow. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, by the water I feel whole. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, by the water I feel whole. When I go down to the water, by the water I feel whole. When I go down to the water, by the water I feel whole.
Do you all say, we give thanks for this healing water? May we free our minds. May we turn toward wonder. May we turn toward curiosity. We give thanks for this healing water. May we feel lighter. May we turn toward possibility. We give thanks for this healing water. May we feel freer. May we turn toward passion, and may we turn toward strength. We give thanks for this healing water. May we feel energized. May we turn toward love. May we turn toward commitments. We give thanks for this healing water. I invite you into a spirit of prayer. Love who is within us and between us. Love that makes all things new. Be with us this morning as we turn towards wonder, as we turn towards curiosity. Love, be with us as we let go of the old stories that no longer serve us, as we make room for new things, as we turn toward the present. Be with us in the curiosity towards the stranger, wondering who we might meet and where love you may show up. May you join us in finding curiosity towards our family, our friends, our closest loved ones, wondering how love may serve us anew today. And love, be with us as we turn that curiosity towards our own hearts, showing up as a new person each new day. Love, be with us in the all of it. We also pray for those who have shared prayer requests this morning. Cynthia Guys prays for migrants recently sent to Panama camps. Diana Wilson asks for prayers for a friend's, Claire's dad, who passed on 2 weeks ago. Ponkapog friends. I pray also for friends who are fearing for their jobs in scientific research. I ask for prayer for a friend whose gender was incorrectly reassigned on his passport. We pray for those trans community members being transferred to the wrong prisons. We pray for all of those living with fear and anxiety, weighed down by the burdens of hate, weighed down by the burdens of uncertainty and fear these days. Love, who makes all things new, be with us in the grief as we search also for gratitude. Love, who makes all things new, be with us in the sorrows as well as the celebrations. Love, who makes all things new, be with us as we are with each other, holding it all in community. Blessed be, and amen.
Love has made a place for you where everything is new.
Join me.
Love has made a place for you where everything is new.
Amen.
Today's offering will be given to Bikes Not Bombs, and I invite Tracy up to speak of that.
Hi, everybody. Angela Finney called at 10:31 to say that she woke up feeling lousy and wasn't going to make it. So I'm going to impromptu share a few words from the Bikes Not Bombs website. Who knows what Bikes Not Bombs is? Great, most people. We had them here about a year ago, and a wonderful young man named Nadai gave a wonderful presentation, so I'm not going to be that good. Just don't get your hopes up. Bikes Not Bombs uses the bicycle as a vehicle for social change to achieve economic mobility for Black and other marginalized people in Boston and throughout the global South. Each year, Bikes Not Bombs collects roughly 5,000 used bicycles and tons of used parts from supporters around the greater Boston area and New England. They ship most of those bikes overseas to economic development projects throughout our international partnerships in Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Bikes that don't get shipped are distributed in Youth Pathways, that's the name of a program, where teens learn bicycle safety and mechanic skills in the process of earning bikes to keep for themselves. Staff and paid youth apprentices working in our retail bike shop and training center also recondition and sell some of the donated bikes that they receive. Profits from bicycle sales, parts sales, and parts go towards funding our youth international work. I hope you will give generously this morning. I do want to just say a note that we are planning to do a bike drive during the Green Fair in early May. You'll be hearing more about that. So if anybody has old used bikes that they are interested in recycling in a wonderful way, keep that in mind. We'll keep reminding you about it until early May. So thank you very much for your gifts this morning.
Thank you, Tracy. As many of you know, twice a month our offering is given to an organization whose work this congregation supports. This effort is spearheaded by our Social and Environmental Justice Committee and is one of the ways that we fulfill our mission of helping to build a just and healthy world. To give, please follow the instructions printed in your order of worship or shown on the Zoom screen. For those in the meeting house, you may also deposit cash or check into the collection plates located at the main entrance or on the way to social hour. So please support Bikes Not Bombs by giving as generously as you can.
tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now. What a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Please stand as you are able and join me in the unison dedication, which is text number 4 on the laminated card. We'll follow with the doxology, which is text 3. May these gifts be transformed into strength for this faith community, into comfort, food, and shelter for those in need, and may we be transformed by generosity.
Risen for our closing song, Let the Life I Lead. It goes like this.
Let the life I lead speak for me. Let the life I lead speak for me. When I'm lying in my grave and there's nothing more to say, life I lead, speak for me.
Let's try that together. Here we go. Let the life I lead, speak for me. Let the life I lead, speak for me. When I'm lying in my grave and there's nothing more to say, life I lead, speak for me. Let the work I do, let the work I do, speak for me. Let the work I do, speak for me. When I'm lying in my grave and there's nothing more to say, let the work I do speak for me. Let the love I share, let the love I share speak for me. Let the love I share speak for me. Speak for me when I'm lying in my grave and there's nothing more to say. Let the love I share speak for. Let the songs I sing, let the songs I sing speak for me. Let the songs I sing speak for me. A little louder, a little louder. When I'm lying in my grave, there's nothing more to say. Songs I sing, speak for me. And let the life I lead, speak for me. Let the life I lead.
to say. Let the life I live speak for me. Beloveds, may we go forth leaving behind the old stories that no longer serve us. Go forth bringing holy curiosity to those around you, and most of all, to your own heart. Go forth in love, go in peace, and go and be blessed as you are a blessing to others. Amen.